the little cloud who wanted to be big. A Bedtime Fairy Tale. Once upon a time, in the wide blue sky, there lived a small, soft cloud named Nibble. He was the tiniest cloud in the sky, so small that birds would sometimes mistake him for a puff of cotton. Every day, Nibble floated around, trying his best to keep up with the big clouds. The big clouds had names like Thunder, Storma, and Nimbus. They were proud, loud, and full of rain. "Move along, little Nibble," Thunder would boom. "You're blocking my storm." "Can't you float a little faster?" Storma would grumble. "You're slower than a sleepy snail." Poor Nibble felt useless. "I wish I were big," Nibble whispered to himself. "Big enough to make a difference, big enough to be noticed." The Sky School. Up in the clouds, there was a special school for all clouds to learn their weather duties. There were classes like Raindrop Dropping 101, How to Cover the Sun, Art of the Perfect Lightning Flash. Nibble tried his best in all of them, but every time he tried to drop a rain, he let out just one tiny drop that landed on a squirrel's nose. When he tried to cover the sun, a gentle breeze blew him away like a feather. And his lightning? It looked more like a sneeze than a spark. The other clouds giggled. "Nibble's trying again." "Someone bring him a ladder so he can reach the sun." Nibble's fluff turned gray with embarrassment. A talk with the moon. That night, as the stars twinkled and the sky became quiet, Nibble floated alone. The gentle moon noticed him and said kindly, "Why so sad, little one?" Nibble sighed. "I want to be big and important. I want to help like the other clouds do." The moon smiled. "But do you know what makes a cloud truly important?" Nibble blinked. "Being big?" "No," said the moon. "It's being kind, helpful, and knowing when to shine in your own small way." Nibble didn't fully understand, but he nodded politely. The Trouble in Sunshine Valley. The next morning, all the clouds were gathered near the Sky School when a loud caw broke the silence. It was Caw-Caw the Crow, the sky messenger. He flew in wild circles and squawked, "Emergency! Emergency! There's a problem in Sunshine Valley." All the clouds gasped. Sunshine Valley was a peaceful place, full of flowers, honeybees, giggling streams, and sleepy cows. But now something was wrong. "What happened?" asked Nimbus, frowning. "It hasn't rained in days," said Caw-Caw. "The flowers are wilting, the cows are fainting, the bees have started walking instead of flying." The Sky Principal, an old wise cloud named Puffington, called the big clouds for a mission. "Storma, Thunder, Nimbus, you three go and bring rain to Sunshine Valley." The big clouds puffed up with pride. "Yes, sir." Nibble floated close, trying to join. "Can I help too?" The big clouds laughed. "This isn't a job for cotton balls. Stay back, little one." Nibble tried not to cry. After all, he was a cloud, and crying would make it rain, and he wasn't ready for that. The big clouds make a big mess. The big clouds zoomed to Sunshine Valley. Thunder tried first. He growled and rumbled, but only scared the cows. Storma followed. She spun and swirled, bringing strong winds that knocked over flower pots. Nimbus got too excited and dumped too much rain. The valley turned into a muddy mess. Bees got stuck. The cows slipped. A picnic blanket flew away with someone's sandwich. "Oh dear," said Puffington, shaking his head from afar. "This isn't helpful," cried Caw-Caw. "We need gentle rain, not a sky tantrum." All the big clouds huffed and puffed and flew away, embarrassed. A tiny try. Nibble watched it all from a distance. "I may be small," he whispered, "but I can try." So, slowly, quietly, Nibble floated over Sunshine Valley. He took a deep breath and thought of kind things, like soft lullabies, baby kittens, and warm cocoa on cold nights. And then, drip, drip, drip. Tiny, gentle drops of rain began to fall from Nibble. The cows looked up. Moo! The bees buzzed happily and zipped back into the air. The flowers perked up and smiled. Yes, in fairy tales, flowers can smile. Nibble continued, slowly and softly, until Sunshine Valley was green and happy again. Even the muddy spots dried into perfect puddles for the children to jump in. The sky cheers. From above, the big clouds stared in silence. Storma was the first to speak. "I can't believe it." "It was Nibble," said Thunder, blinking. "He saved the valley," said Nimbus, amazed. Caw-Caw flew up and spun around Nibble. "You did it, you tiny hero! The valley loves you!" Puffington floated down with a kind smile. "You may be small, Nibble," he said, "but you have the biggest heart in the sky." Nibble glowed, not with lightning, but with joy. A celebration in the clouds. That evening, the Sky School held a celebration. They gave Nibble a golden drop pin and a new title, Cloud of the Week. All the clouds, even the big ones, clapped and cheered. Nibble stood in front of them, feeling proud, but still a little shy. "I didn't do much," he said. "Just what I could." "And that," said Puffington, "was exactly what we needed." Nibble looked up at the moon, who smiled quietly from her corner of the sky. He smiled back.